Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
On the newspaper page, and love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls, 'cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. It's the bigger love of the family.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Chief back with episode 22, season 8 of Chief Talk here on the Bob Cigar Guy YouTube channel and ChevetteReport.com. Welcome in, everybody. It's been like 2 weeks since I've seen you all. We did the show the last week of June. We didn't do last week of July because it's July 4th. Happy birthday, America. 250 years of you being you, baby. Welcome in Matt Brugger, Michael Zakovic, Dan Burns, Bob the Cigar Guys over there, cheesing the chat a little bit. Fireborn, welcome into the show. 315 Cigar Aficionados, welcome into the chat as well. I think I said hello to Matt Brugger, but if not, hey, Matt Brugger, hey again. Charles Adamson, welcome into the show this evening. Cigar Pop, the man who is the greatest sharer of Chief Talks in the world. Mackie Bergson says, hey, everyone, sorry, won't be able to be in the chat tonight at Taekwondo practice, and I'm in single parent mode. If you are in Denver and see Rebecca, be sure to say hi. Hi, Rebecca. I'm not in Denver, but Lady Boss Diana, welcome into the show. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you all returned with 10 fingers, 10 toes. If you started off with 10 fingers and 10 toes. If you didn't have 10 fingers and 10 toes a few weeks ago and now you do, what's your secret? I've got something I want to grow. Gary Zanstra, welcome into the show. Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. Anybody else? Cigar Smoking Arborist, welcome in. I think Matt Berger, I think I said hello. Adam Wolf, Law Ream. Law is my hero. So handsome he is. William, welcome into the show. And I think I'm caught up on everybody. Before we get any farther into the show, I do want to say a big thank you to our show sponsors, Drew Estate Cigar and Natura Cigar, making sure that Chief Talk is live and on the air every single Thursday that we have the chance to do a show. And tonight is a special night. Tonight, we have the Camacho Macho Man, the man with the plan, the Republic of Debauchery. I will be bringing him on here in just a few moments. But also back in studio for the first time in just a little while. Let me jump to this background, this layout, and add Bob the Cigar Guy on. Welcome into the show, Bob the Cigar Guy. You've been
everybody.
You've been taking off like every week for the last few weeks of Chief Talk. So
I have.
Welcome into the show.
I have. Thank you for having me back. I finally got the locks changed where I could get back in because I think you locked me out. No, it's been busy at the car mill. Your boy's been working lots and lots and lots, and so sadly I made the decision that I had to sleep. But I could not miss this opportunity to be able to hang out with one of the most awesomest people in the whole wide world. So I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about it because I know Chief has something leading up to it, so I'm not going to steal that thunder.
Okay. There does seem to be a little bit of internet connection issues, so hopefully that does not seem to be any issue going forward throughout the night. Before we do get into the show and welcome in our guest tonight, I do want to know, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? If you did not remember, because we've announced this for the past few weeks, that Law would be on. If you did not remember to go grab a Camacho and you have a Camacho in the stash, go grab a Camacho out your stash. Hopefully you're already lighting one up and getting ready. Bob the Cigar Guy is prepared with a Camacho cigar over there. What you got to smoke this evening, Bob the Cigar Guy?
This is the Camacho Triple Maduro. That's right, Triple Maduro. And I'm hoping that I will stay up long enough to not smoke just one, but I think I'm going to do two. So that's a 6er Maduro. Let's see if I make it through the night. I better get started.
I also will be smoking the Camacho Triple Maduro this evening. Fell in love with this cigar last year for the first time ever, and I could not believe how good and how not smoke you under the table a Triple Maduro could be. So Camacho has figured that out. Also paired last year with the Camacho 2025, also a fantastic cigar. We got to see Camacho at PCA this year. We got to see Law Ream at Camacho this year, and they did the Liberty 250. Maybe we can get a little bit of information out of Law Ream for that tonight, but I will be enjoying that. Matt Brugger, or no, sorry, the 315 Cigar Aficionados. There's a bug flying around here. It's bothering me. Is going to be smoking a broadleaf. Cigar Pop has got a Triple Maduro 6x60. Matt Brugger's got the Postania Sumacha Churchill. Michael Zakovic also with the Triple Maduro. Michael Zakovic and the Chi-Town Cigar Guys, they had Law Ream on Tuesday. Now, I did not get to watch it on Tuesday live because I was busy, and I have been busy all week. I was actually talking to Law Ream about it before the show. I've just been anywhere and everywhere that I can be right now. I'm there. It's a lot. So if you haven't let us know what you're smoking this evening, let us know what you're smoking. William says, not smoking, still living with my folks, but 5 Camacho, Connecticut with A&W is fire. Chi-Town has got the Camacho 5280. Adam Wolf starting with the Cuban BTCG gave me when I came to visit you guys, plus some 4 roses. So let me get over here. Let me do this and then this. And then I'm going to switch over. He is the Camacho Macho Man. He is standing 6'25", 132 pounds in one bicep of pure American muscle. He has been around the world 375 million times by the power of just his wings. Welcome in.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. In fact, my right bicep is about 132 pounds now, but thank you for that.
Ooh, my man has got the guns. You got a permit for those things?
Wait. Oh, did you hear that good?
I heard that. That was nice.
Little ASMR to start this. Can I curse on here? I forget. I know you guys are very family people.
ASMR some is what it was. That was something. I am so glad that it's South Carolina and it's hot, and I was going to wear the no sleeve black t-shirt as well, but then people would have got confused if you took your sunglasses off between, which one's Bob, which one's Law, which one's Bob, which one's Law. I guess they'd have to go by the hat, but that's about it.
You know how many times I get stopped every day of people asking me, excuse me, are you Bob the Cigar Guy? And I have to unfortunately let them down and say, no, I'm the asshole one.
You should throw punch them if they say something stupid like that.
Again,
no, I'm not Bob the Cigar
Guy. Can I curse on this show? Because I just have a foul mouth and it's hard to control.
We've had Pedro on, and I don't think anybody's ever going to top Pedro. So
challenge fucking accepted. Let's go.
Oh, jeez. Hold on, let me make sure this is working. Yeah, it works. Law Ream, welcome on to the show. Now, we've had you on the show before. You've been on the show as the Republic of Debauchery. You've been on the show as Xeno Law, and now you are the Camacho Macho Man. Now, actually, the public doesn't know you as Camacho Macho Man because the Camacho Macho Man was a nickname given to you by our wonderful Scottish friend Simon in the Dead Leaf Breakfast Club. But I think it fits just well.
He's a beautiful man.
He is a
knows
beautiful
macho
man.
when he sees it.
It is macho. So welcome to the show, Camacho Law. It's fantastic to have you on. I know when you made the switch over to Camacho, I actually knew the switch to Camacho was coming before the public did because you were just so wonderful. And you're like, hey, man, eventually you're going to see me in all black instead of all yellow. Are you happy with the switch? I don't think I've actually asked you that. Are you happy to have ditched the yellow for the black?
Well, before I answer that question, my friend Chief of the Leaf, Steven,
That's
you might be under investigation. I noticed you made a few trades on Camacho stock when I gave you that insider info, and I had to report you to the Federal Bureau of Beautiful Men.
Oh, no wonder I've been getting messages from AARP. I wondered how that information got out
I
there.
absolutely love being back in black. My original wardrobe was pure black and OD green. I didn't have any other color in there except those two. And then I had to buy yellow, and it took me down this whole rabbit hole of trying out colors and stuff. And it got weird. It got weird for a little while. And I've gone through recovery, smoked a lot of triple Maduros. It's helped. I speak to a therapist. He keeps telling me he's a bartender, but he costs just as much.
Well, you did happen to find just about any and every yellow piece of attire under the sun. I think I've seen you in yellow socks, yellow underwear. You might have even had a yellow bathing suit at some point in time. Did you just go on Poshmark, or did you have to outsource a wardrobe selection to China? How did you get all that stuff, man? That was impressive. Everything was yellow.
I had to jump in that yellow delivery van and scour the ends of the earth to find all 3 garments made for men in Xeno yellow.
And, it's funny, since you've left Xeno yellow, Xeno Nicaragua yellow, they now have Xeno Honduras red. Was there a little bit of gosh darn it, guys, I wanted to wear red all the time, and now now red is the thing?
I mean, I love Camacho, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of resentment about leaving that brand. Driving is not one of them. Having to smoke one blend for 2 years is one of them. And 2, the Xeno Honduras is even better than the Nicaragua. So I got to miss out on that and smoking that for another year. That's all my gripes. Camacho's awesome.
The Xeno Honduras is a really good cigar. But I will say, for a cigar that you had to smoke all the time for as long as you did, the Xeno Nicaragua is not a bad cigar to land on. There are definitely worse cigars out there that you could have had to have peddled your wares with.
Knowing that brand had one blend and that's all I could smoke for 2 years, I smoked it before the interview. I was ready to turn down Davidoff if the cigar sucked, and I was 3 puffs in. I was like, oh yeah, I can sell this cigar and smoke it. I smoked 500 of those over 2 years.
Nice. One of the things that's definitely changed, and you mentioned it, was the road show that you were having to take on everywhere. I feel like by this point in time last year, you had done enough miles to have crossed the United States 14 or 15 possible times. This year, you haven't had to have your rear end in a yellow van driver's seat. Is there parts of it that you miss? I remember being on the phone with you multiple times when you were making these long cross country hauls where it was just you and 18 wheelers on the road. It was I'm going to fall asleep. Please talk to me.
Yeah.
Do you miss that?
There are some parts I miss. I mean, getting to know America, driving around. You don't get to know America flying from airport to airport, but driving from, Milwaukee, Wisconsin to San Diego, California, and then over from there straight to Florida, pretty much up to the Northeast. You really get to know this country. You get to know a lot about it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. And this country's, I miss that. I miss learning about this country, which is pretty much the size of Europe.
Well, if you had to do it for Camacho, you'd have to do it like on a street legal dirt bike or a street legal 4x4 or side by side or something like that to fit the Camacho vibe, because Camp Camacho brings the heat. Whereas Zeno was like the cool party bus kind of sort of deal with the games out, in the parking lots and things. I feel like if you were doing Camacho, you'd have to do, your outfit has to be the sleeveless Camacho top and the hater blocker Ray-Bans, and you have a small trailer it's almost like Mad Max. You'd have to like kind of scour the world as Mad Max.
Yeah, but I was a hater though, because do you know what my European counterpart got to drive? I had a Ford Transit, which is like a Mercedes Sprinter van. Do you know what they drove in Europe for the Zeno tour?
I'm gonna say like a Ferrari LaFerrari or something like that.
Better.
Oh,
better. It was a Ford Raptor.
Oh, in Europe too.
A Zeno'd out, Zeno wrapped Ford Raptor. And here I am in a delivery van driving at 90 degrees upright everywhere because it got that cage behind me. And this guy's cruising these tiny little European towns in a truck that won't even fit on their roads, but it's cool.
Man, how did you end up drawing the short straw on that? You had a bigger territory and a not as cool vehicle.
Look, I don't know whose decision it was, or maybe I do, and maybe they don't work for Davidoff anymore. But it was not a great decision, at least on my behalf. The rest of the company thought it was brilliant.
Got it.
Like let's instead of buying a cool truck, why don't we just buy a moving billboard?
It was, and it's funny because I actually got to see that thing in person multiple times across multiple states. I saw it
been right here, there at the studio.
Here at the studio, out in the driveway.
Hurricane.
Yeah, right before the world changed with Helene over here. And then I got to see it down in New Orleans multiple times last year at the PCA trade show. I will say I did miss that the Davidoff booth this year did not have the Zeno coffee going on. I do know that there was like a Avo non-liquor infusion thing going on or something like that. I did not get to take part in it because I was actually having to video it. But Bob Cigar Guy got to take part of it.
Dude, I drank like 15 of those things. I said, I'll just take the energy. Just give me
Davidoff office approved beverage.
There you
just
go.
give me the energy one with the
Suprema
bubble.
Tobacco.
After a while, I didn't even take the
Hey,
bubble.
Bob, the cigar. Shut up for a second. Suprema Tobacco is in the chat.
Wow.
I was trying to talk and you just kept talking over me, man.
Wow.
You spent this whole entire time quiet, and then you just start talking. He also says Chief and Bob looking great. Lawrence looking like a stud as always. Also, for everybody who's watching, do throw those comments out there. I know Law sees them, but as Law talks and as I talk and as Bob talks, I'm going to keep scouring those comments to see if there's anything that's worthwhile being thrown up in the chat for Law to take part in. But now that we have gone full Camacho, Law Ream,
speak to me, brother.
And you do have a full line to smoke. What do you find yourself smoking the most of these days over there in the Camacho wagon?
Mostly the Triple Maduro. I just absolutely love the cigar. I get the weirdest flavor from this. Do you remember in like the 80s and 90s, a lot of the toys had this smell, and it was described as the color purple?
Wait, 80s and 90s. Steven, what do you remember from the 80s?
Nothing.
What do you remember from the 80s?
Nothing. I was born in 91, so.
Okay, I know people like to talk shit about reviewers that are like, they don't taste that. There's no way they taste that. The flavor I get from this reminds me of one of my like rubber slammers from Pogs, and the flavor, the smell was the color purple, and everyone in the 90s knows that color and that smell.
Dang Pogs! Wow.
Yeah. I don't think you were supposed to put Pogs in your mouth though. I don't know. Maybe that was the.
I
maybe
never
that
put
was
a Pog in my mouth, Chief. It was the slammer.
Oh, got you.
God.
I don't know if anything around Pog was supposed to go in any part of your body, but hey, I always lost, so maybe that was the trick.
Look, I don't know if you have a family-friendly rating on here, but some of those slammers looked like butt plugs, and no child should have had any of them.
There was it was a couple weeks ago. I was going through like a Instagram slide carousel of toys that were approved in the 90s that would not be approved today, and a lot of toys were phallically shaped, and it was like, how did our parents allow us to play with those things and not be like, when I get toys for my kids, there's definitely like a I don't want any kind of innuendos kind of sort of deal,
Yeah.
My parents did not. There were a bunch of toys on that list, and I was like, I don't know if my parents did their due diligence with getting these toys for us.
I mean,
Cigar
I had a wood
parent.
burning kit that came with a little like wood burning needle that got up to like 1200 degrees. I think I had that when I was 8 years old. There was the metal, you made your own metal. It was called like Metal Monsters or something, where you smelt your own metal and pour it in molds. And that was also like 1,000 degrees. Like, yeah, the toys back then were different. You learned lessons.
We had lawn darts. I mean, we had lawn darts. We shot each other with BB guns for fun. I mean, none of this airsoft garbage.
I got shot by I was playing with the neighbor's kid. Not like that, Chief. And we were just hanging out in the treehouse having fun, and I guess it was his time to have dinner, so he came up and started shooting at us with the BB gun. And I took one to the calf that's probably still there.
Well, you're not that much older than me. How old are you? 38?
41.
Oh, you look great for 41, by the way.
Thank you. It's the cigars.
Well, great. I bet,
also, I have a skin routine. My wife works at Ulta. I get her hand-me-downs, so I use
heck yeah.
I have like $150 facial creams.
I've not gotten into the skin routine game. But as I get older and as like the puffiness is there, it's like, if I want to look like Law Ream when I'm 41, because I'm still 7 years away from that right now. That's forever. I mean, I didn't realize you were so far apart in age.
I did.
I mean, you and I are still closer in age than you are with my dad, but
not maturity wise.
Yeah, you guys are way more immature than me.
We're both about 16.
We're twins.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're
on
twins.
A good day.
On a great day.
Supremo Tobacco is trying to get the hookup on the eye cream, but my man's Asian. He doesn't age. So what are you worried about there, Brian?
Law, please tell me. I mean, this facial thing's got me kind of man card in question on you, but please tell me you don't get your feet dead.
No, I have some claws down there. They're pretty nasty.
Okay.
In fact,
Okay.
I have a foot fungus I got about 14 years ago. I refused to treat. It's kind of like my pet now, and it's affecting my toes. So I have the gnarly, like yellow, curly toes now. So,
all right. The show
just for
has
all you
started off
foot fetish people out there. That's what you can expect from the Camacho.
Brian says,
Camacho.
as an Asian, I love a good deal.
He's the funniest Mexican.
He is our little poncho. So the Camacho Triple Maduro is your go-to, but is that like, do you treat the Camacho Triple Maduro like you did the Avo or the Zeno Nicaragua with like, that's just the only cigar you smoke all the time? Or
no, absolutely not. I go through the whole line at least once a week.
Okay. So there's for you, there's no losers that you just completely abandon.
No, in fact, the one I smoked the least is like, it's growing rapidly this year. So I don't think there's any bad cigars in the lineup.
Can I take a guess at what cigar is growing on Camacho's profile?
Shoot.
Is it the Ecuador?
Yes. But no, I smoked that the second most.
Oh.
So we have two cigars that are growing rapidly this year, the Ecuador and the Nicaragua.
Okay.
I smoked the Nicaragua the least. I still love it. It's a great cigar, but I just love everything else more. But the Ecuador is exploding this year.
So
it's up like 25% over budget, which is ridiculous.
So that I work in a cigar shop now. And we carry Camacho at the shop. We carry Davidoff. We do not carry Alvarez, at the moment, but we do carry Camacho. We do carry Davidoff. And one of the cigars I keep seeing come across the scanner and having to be reordered because of empty boxes in the humidor is the Ecuador. The box press Ecuador is just taking off.
It's absolutely exploding this year, and we can't explain why because we haven't marketed it. There's no deals on it. There's it's just people are just noticing it, and it's blowing up. Every 250 event I've done this year, the Ecuador is sold out first.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I like the Ecuador. The Triple Maduro is my jam. I really love the Triple Maduro. That's the cigar that I smoke the most out of Camacho. But the box press Ecuador, really a big fan of it. That LE again, the 2025 LE was really good. Liked it a lot. Bob the Cigar Guy, I'm surprised you didn't break out your rare Camacho box that you had for tonight.
You got a rare Camacho box?
I have some hard chargers.
Oh wow, those are like a decade old.
I thought you were gonna talk about your bourbon barrel aged.
Oh no, I've only got 6 or 7 of those left.
You want to hear a funny story about the bourbon barrel aged? I've never smoked one, and that is the most sought after Camacho. Like everywhere you go on Reddit, you go on any forum, people are like, where can I find the bourbon barrel aged? Like, why did Camacho stop making that cigar? And my buddy who like rarely ever smokes cigars, he's like, hey, I got one of your cigars, and he sends me a picture of the bourbon barrel aged. I go, hey, do they? He's out in California. I go, do they have any more? He goes, yeah, they have a whole box. I go, do me a favor, buy that box. I will send you money for that box and shipping, plus like $50. And he goes, yeah, no problem. So he smokes the cigar, and then he sends me another message about a day later, and he goes, Hey, bad news. I got the box. I'm keeping the box.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I still have yet to try that cigar, and everyone tells me it's the best Camacho ever made.
Well, then Bob Cigar Guy is going to have to be a really good friend and send you one.
I'm going to have to send you one.
Or 2, because he's a good friend.
I will trade you my firstborn child for one.
No need to trade. I just
don't take Vicky's dog.
He's like 30. He's like 22 years old in the Philippines, so it's okay.
I have a brother in the Philippines too. I'm sure of it. So you just imagine some 6'5" Filipino dude who looks like me, just like, what's up?
A Viking Filipino.
I cannot confirm or deny, but I think we should change the subject on children in other countries.
There also is a 36, 37-year-old Japanese boy walking around too who looks just like me as well. So, is that enough of a subject change for you there, Bobby?
Yeah,
I cannot confirm.
I don't think that was a subject change as much as it was a geographical change.
Look,
speaking of
Bob
other
is
kin,
a way different person. So.
Speaking of other kin, my family has disowned Timmy Ream from the U.S. men's national soccer team. He will no longer be invited to the family reunion or any cookouts.
It was not his fault, okay?
It was absolutely his fault.
So unfortunately, we just don't have another reliable defender, and so we had to put a 40-year-old dude out there who's on his retirement run with Charlotte Football Club, and
Costa Verde's 40-year-old goalie rocked it.
Well, goalie and defender, a little different movements here. But I don't know. I'm proud of the United States team. They got farther than anybody predicted them to this year. The biggest ever World Cup tournament. They made it out. They won their first knockout game. They haven't done that in a while. And they played the number 9 country in the world. And apart from a couple boneheaded mistakes, that game's 1-1 going into the 90th minute. So, I'll take the small victories where I can get them.
No, it was 1-1 for like 3 seconds, and then they scored again to make it 2-1.
I said if you take away the boneheaded mistakes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you take away the boneheaded mistakes, we win that game, maybe.
I mean,
But there were boneheaded mistakes.
There were boneheaded mistakes. So, but that team came out. They played 5 games this World Cup. 4 of those 5 games, 3 of the 5 games looked incredible. 1 of the 5 games was an absolute wash. It didn't matter about the game because we'd already won the group.
Yeah, we didn't even put our starters in that game.
Our last game, it wasn't. If we would have come out with the tenacity that we had against Australia for that game, man, that'd have been a good game.
Yeah, or Paraguay.
Or Paraguay.
Paraguay beat Germany, eliminated Germany,
hey,
and we beat them 4-1.
And they gave France a fight. I mean, that looking back, that's mad respect to Paraguay, but it's also mad respect to the United States for putting belts to booty.
I agree. They probably didn't start their starters. They're like, well, you don't need to injure anyone. We're playing America. And they're like, oh, shit, they're good.
Bob the Cigar is slowly going to sleep over there.
Sorry, Bob. Bobby, come back.
Right.
Come back.
Bob the Cigar
soccer.
Guy, you've had this whole entire time to think or formulate questions, and you haven't brought any to the public eye yet. So it is your turn, Bob the Cigar Guy, to do a little bit of chief talking with Lawrence Ream.
Before you get started, Bobby, I need to make a public service announcement and address an issue that has been grinding my gears. We are all currently smoking the Triple Maduro. Would either of you say that this cigar would put you on your ass ever?
No.
It's not a rookie stick. But it's not a rookie stick. I mean, it's full flavor. I'm smoking. I'm down to there already, and I'm not feeling anything. I'm not getting any swimmies or anything like that. So it's not super aggressive, that's for sure. But it is full of flavor. I mean, you can't get away from it. I mean, the flavor's all in your mouth.
Well, I broached the issue because everywhere I go, every single shop I go to, and every podcast I've been on, everybody says the same exact thing. But not everybody, but there's always one person that says the same exact thing. That cigar kicked my ass, made me so sick. I don't know if I could smoke it again. And I want to call them out and just be like, you've never smoked the cigar before. You've never smoked it before, because it would not do that. So
the first time that I had an experience with the Camacho Triple Maduro was last year at the Camacho after party for PCA, where you guys did the steaks and all that stuff. And as we were going in the door, I think you guys were doing the Triple Maduro and
the broadleaf.
The broadleaf, that's right. And they were like, well, which one do you want to smoke? And I was like, well, I've never smoked the Triple Maduro, so let's get the Triple Maduro. And I was like, might as well start up with something strong, and then, get some food, because I know you guys are doing steak. I'll get some steak, and I'll mellow myself out. Fell in love with the cigar first puff, and I thought, holy crap, man, that was a really good cigar. But it was like a Corona size. It wasn't a full Toro, the one that we got in the door. Maybe it's not Corona, but it's something a little. Robusto. Was it a Robusto?
But it's like, I think it's a 5x50 Robusto, maybe, or is it 52?
So it's a little bigger Robusto. But then as the night kept going on in that back little alcove, they just had more boxes of cigars, but they had bigger sizes. And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have a Gordo in this size, right? Or in this blend, right? And you guys had the Gordos out. And I said, well, shoot, that didn't kick me on my butt. I'm going to smoke the Gordo. And I think I ended up smoking 4 Triple Maduros that night, hanging out with, the Deadly Breakfast Club guys, you, Jack, Tom, just having a really good time. And for a Triple Maduro, and I said it at the beginning of the show, for a Triple Maduro, which would, especially as somebody who sells cigars for a living, like when I talk about Maduro, people are like, oh, I can't have that Maduro. I'm going to get sick. It's not. I was like, no. Try the Triple Maduro, come back, tell me what you expect or what you got out of it. And it's always for a Triple Maduro. Man, that thing smokes smooth. That thing is nice. It's not gritty. It's not heavy. I'm not swimming. I don't feel like I need to go slug down a whole bunch of sugar or a whole bunch of meat to counteract the nicotine sickness. Yeah, I love the Triple Maduro. It's my favorite. It's my favorite Camacho.
It's actually more intimidating than that because it's a Cinco Maduro. It's actually a Maduro Puro. Every single leaf in that cigar is a Maduro. And a lot of people, I know your audience is educated, but just in case, a lot of people think Maduro means dark. It's a dark leaf. but it's not. It means it's aged. Like Maduro in Spanish means mature or ripe, depending on where you're at. So the difference between a regular leaf and a Maduro leaf is it is fermented 4 to 5 times longer. It's a 1.5 to 2 years of fermentation. So during that fermentation process, it bleeds off nicotine. It becomes lighter and smoother, and the sugars caramelize more, so it becomes sweeter also. So it's the exact opposite of where everyone thinks it is, which is intimidating.
All right. So now you said it's all Maduro. Now,
Every single leaf in the cigar is
For-
Maduro. Yes.
for a cigar or for tobacco to be fermented for that long, it's got to be a hardy and thicker leaf. Yes.
Not exactly, no. It just has to be carefully handled.
So how do you?
It is easier with your Viso and Ligero. It is easier to ferment it that long, but you can also ferment like lower priming cigars that are thinner. You just have to be more careful.
So you
with them.
just drop your temperatures. You just don't let it get so high in the pilon.
That, or I'm not an expert in this. I don't know. But I would assume you either make the pile lighter, you handle it more gently,
So with that being said, usually there'll only be a couple of Maduros in there, or a couple broadleafs, or a couple anything like that in there, because you're worried about combustion and burn. But I mean, if that's all Maduro and that burn is as straight as that, how did the master blender deal with the fact that you're using such hardy aged tobacco and still getting the combustion rate and the burn rate that you wanted?
Well, like I said, so for a better combustion, you need Velado or Seco, right? The lower leaves of the priming. So you have Velado, Seco, Viso, Ligero. And the Velado is mostly for combustion. Like, it doesn't have any flavor, has almost no oil in it, barely any aroma. And then your Seco has a little bit of oil, a little bit of aroma, not a lot of flavor. So those two are mainly for combustion. So if you can ferment those cigars, and again, don't quote me, I could be wrong on this, because I haven't asked this question in the factory yet, but I did learn a lot when I was hosting the Camp Camacho tours for a month. And so you can ferment the tobacco for a Velado for 1.5 to 2 years. It's just harder.
Interesting. I'm surprised. As soon as you said it was all Maduro all the way through, my first thought was, how come it's burning so well?
Yeah.
Because if everything I've always learned is if you don't have that balance between the combustibility and then the aroma and then the flavors, then it doesn't burn right. Either the inside will be so thick, the leaf will be so thick that it doesn't keep up with the outside, or vice versa. Right. And so to be able to take the Maduro and do that, I mean, there had to be tons and tons and tons of samples and testing to get the flavor right, but then to get the burn as well. I bet that was difficult.
Oh, I'm sure it's very difficult. And not just that, but like the combustion is affected by the oils in the leaf, right? So that's why Velado and Seco burn better. They have less oil. So yeah, your Ligero, you need the lower primings to make it burn better. But again, you can ferment. I wish Steve Saka was in the comments right now. He'd probably be roasting me. He's like, you can't ferment a fucking Velado, you idiot. But I don't know, maybe you can, but I do know, the combustion is absolutely perfect. And maybe there's a process where they remove oil, or maybe the fermenting process does remove some of the oils. I don't know.
It's interesting. So
That's
she
a good
put me
question,
on the hot seat just a minute ago about asking a question. And so the burning question that I have is, there's a guy who works at Davidoff that's before he started doing Camacho, he got himself a Camacho tattoo.
Yes.
And I know y'all are running buddies and tight like that. And I know there's competition in fellers and guys. And so is there going to be a Camacho tattoo on Camacho Law?
I was ready to get it. I had my renderings ready. And like a week before Camp Camacho this year, they're like, hey, we just got an email from the lawyers. we can't do the tattoo artist in the Camacho house anymore. That's just irresponsible to have people getting inebriated drunk and having a free tattoo artist on hand 24/7.
Oh, free's even better. Bob the
Right?
Cigar Guy wouldn't let me get a tattoo when I was in Nicaragua in 2020.
But
I
the
wanted
deal
to get a
was
tattoo.
the deal was somebody had to get free tattoos. You can get anything you wanted as long as the first person opened the gates by getting the Camacho Scorpion. That was the deal.
What where were you going to get this tattoo on your body? Were you going to also do the tramp stamp or?
Nah, I was probably going to go for an arm or something. I can't. I don't have the tenacity that Jack has for leaning into the joke.
Yeah, I will say it was a pretty cool move last year when he did have the Camacho Scorpion embroidered into a shirt above the tramp stamp, so he didn't have to show the tramp stamp. He could just show the shirt. I'm sure that was a legal thing of, hey, don't show your backside to the public, please.
No, that was all him. I'm sure he knew people were going to be asking to see it. So yeah, he took his dress shirt for his suit and had it embroidered with the scorpion. And he actually, I think he'd already been promoted to Camacho product manager at that point, but he still went all in as the Camacho ambassador for PCA.
Jack's awesome.
I love that guy.
Jack, you know what? I've always been a fan of Jack, and I knew he was hilarious, which is why I really wanted to work with him, and I chased him all the way to Davidoff. I did not know how smart he was. He is an absolute genius, and Davidoff would not be where it is today if it wasn't for him.
Wow. That's high praise.
We we don't have a stellar collection of Davidoff at the shop in the sense of like we are not a Davidoff appointed merchant, but that's like a humongous, like you've got to just give so much of your humidor to Davidoff in order to do that, and our humidor is not big enough to be able to do that. But we have a nice selection of Davidoff in the shop, and added newest to it was this year's Puro Dominicano.
Yes.
What a cigar! A cigar that is in
yes, like you said.
Dominicano. Gotta make sure.
Unfortunately, the Drew Estate Dominicana came out just before that, so everyone calls it a Pure Dominicana. And I'm like, nope, different company.
That's funny.
And then they sandwiched it with the LT Gray, which is a Dominican Puro.
It is.
Yeah, so Drew Estate got us on both ends.
that cigar is easily in my top 10 for the year. Really enjoy that cigar. I love it the most in the Robusto size that I got from the trade show. We don't have the Robusto size at the shop. We have a couple. We have a Perfecto, and then we have like it's not a Lancero, but it's kind of like a Lancero.
Corona Larga.
Yeah, the Corona Larga. That's right.
Yeah, cigar companies like all kinds of crazy names.
That's like one of the biggest questions, or the most like repeated questions that I get at the shop is like, well, why does this company call it this and this company, like Drew Estate calls it a double Corona, Foundation calls it a Corona Doble. It's like, why do they call them different names? It's like, I don't know. I wish there was a mandatory sheet that they had to all use the same names. And it's like, well, this says Robusto here and this is a Robusto, but this cigar is a whole lot different size than this is over here. It's like, brother, they just call it Robusto. I'm just going to tell you that's what they call the Robusto.
Yeah. That's what they call a Robusto. Yeah. Like it's like a 60 ring gauge, but it's 5 inches. Where it's
right.
It's who knows why it is. I know most of the traditional Cuban names have made their way into the rest of the industry, but everyone wants to put their own, their own thumbprint on everything, their own fingerprint on something. So I know some people call it Toro and Epicure. Like I don't know where that came from. Right. Like there's so many crazy names out there. Now,
speaking of thumbprints and DNA and originality, the United States turned 250 years old last week. Happy birthday, USA.
Happy birthday. Happy quincentennial, America.
America.
The greatest nation in the history of the earth.
But
facts.
Camacho has done something for this year's events to immortalize the America's 250th year, and they brought back a series. If I do remember, it's been years since this series has been out. Tell us a little bit about the Camacho 250.
So this was Jack's brainchild, right? We're just sitting around, kicking a can around, and we're talking about, hey, this is next year is 250 years, right? And Jack goes, yeah, it'd be great if we had the Liberty again for that. And I was like, why don't we? He goes, I don't know. It's not in the plan. And I was like, well, Switzerland probably doesn't know it's the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation in the world. They probably also don't know it's the greatest nation in the world. So Jack reaches out to Switzerland. He's like, hey, why don't we bring back the Liberty one more time for the 250th birthday of America? And they're like, brilliant idea, but we don't have enough time to make the coffins that we always make it with. So Jack goes, bing, I'm a genius. How about we wrap it in the Declaration of Independence? And they're like, oh yeah, if we bundle wrap it, no problem, we can do that. He's like, no. We're wrapping it in the Declaration of Independence, the most important document in American history. And they're like, yeah, whatever you want to call it, we'll bundle wrap it, no problem. That'll solve that problem. So in our factory, in the Camacho factory, we have some bales of tobacco that we've been wanting to use, but we don't have a small enough run to use them. It's not that much tobacco, and this has been sitting there for decades. And Jack and I thought it'd be cute. More Jack. This is Jack's idea again. He's so smart. He thought it'd be cool to do 1,776 bundles. We thought that was amazing until we realized that is the smallest run of Liberty ever done before. I think the second smallest was the very first year it went into production, which I think it was like 2002, of 20,000 cigars. This is 17,760 cigars. So they're like, that's small enough run where we can use these tobaccos we've been hanging on to forever. So it's a very special cigar. The first Camacho Liberty ever made with American tobaccos, and it's chock full of delicious American tobacco.
So this year's Liberty Series is an American Puro?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
It wouldn't be a Camacho if it didn't have the Honduran Camacho Corojo in it. Every single Camacho has to have the Corojo in it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know
You
that
have
either.
an American wrapper, your Camacho Corojo binder, and majority of the filler is from Pennsylvania.
Hey, now
So you have Connecticut
Pennsylvania.
wrapper. Yeah.
Pennsylvania is my is one of my favorites.
And then a little bit of Nicaraguan and Honduran filler as well.
Yeah, I think American tobacco is really starting to take over the cigar market. I feel like if anybody can get their hands on broadleaf, they're trying to get their hands on broadleaf. Whether it be Connecticut or Pennsylvania. I feel like Connecticut broadleaf's the best tobacco in the world. I love Connecticut broadleaf. Super thick, super rich, super dark, super oily. I'm a big fan. Obviously, some of my favorite cigar brands in the world, or cigar brands that are in my regular rotation in my humidor, are wrapped in Connecticut broadleaf, and so I'm super biased.
A lot of Dunbarton cigars, a lot of
Dunbarton
cigars.
Dunbarton Foundation, Drew Estate, a lot of Connecticut broadleaf wrap, and those are my go-to brands.
American broadleaf is hard to get right now. There's a shortage.
Oh, yeah. So we've had the unique opportunity to go up to Connecticut and Pennsylvania for barn smokers within the relative recent past. We've been to Connecticut for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years in a row now. 4 years in a row, I think this year's 4 years in a row. We haven't been to Pennsylvania in a few years, but we've had a chance to go up. And in Pennsylvania, which has great broadleaf, there are a lot of fields out there that are being tended to by the Amish, but they're kind of split between cornfields and tobacco fields, back and forth. That's how a lot of the Pennsylvania broadleaf fields are. Smaller barns, so smaller crops, smaller yields. And then Connecticut, we have heard when we've been up there that the Connecticut government is trying to find ways to make it more lucrative to sell your tobacco fields and turn them into other things. And in the 4 or 5 years that we've been going to the Connecticut Barn Smoker, we have seen where there were once tobacco fields, they are now solar farms, which is sad.
That's very sad.
I think that kind of lends into why it's so hard to find broadleaf. And then the companies who do a lot of broadleaf. Again, we talk about Foundation Cigars, Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, and Drew Estate. They know what they've got when it comes to broadleaf, and so they're kind of buying up, Dunn and Foster Farms, who Drew Estate and Foundation both, and then possibly Saka. I'm not sure which Connecticut broadleaf farms he works with. It may be Dunn Foster, but Drew Estate, they have some fields that are, they're harvesting from Dunn Foster. Nick Melillo's head corporate office is right across the street from the Dunn Foster farms. And now they are building more barns and they are building more fields and they are actively adding to the broadleaf population that's out there, which is great. Shout out John Foster, the homie. But
shout out John Foster, man. It's a real American patriot right there.
Oh, John Foster. I love John Foster. He's a dope dude.
It's so aggravating that the U.S. government is taking our tax dollars and using it to get rid of something we want.
Right.
It's like, funny. Oh, thank you for your hardworking tax dollars. Now we're going to use it to give incentives to people to stop growing what you love smoking.
Right. Well, and to think, and you mentioned this during our PCA interview, that the sale of tobacco is what helped fund the revolution. If I do remember correctly hearing you say that, Law Ream.
Yes, and I had to do some research recently because I put out a very patriotic post on my Camacho Instagram, and I got a lot of hate in there. A lot of people call me racist, and a lot of people tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to history. So I went and did some research, and yes, we did not fund the war with tobacco sales directly. However, Benjamin Franklin himself took 50 million pounds of tobacco over to France to secure the loans that we needed to fight the war. So yes, if it was not for tobacco, American tobacco, then this country might not exist today.
Shout out Ben and his tobacco, man. Did you imagine, like, in today's metrics, like thinking, you said 50 million pounds?
That's what I read, yes.
Like in today's metrics, you talk about 50 million pounds, and it's like, oh yeah, I could see how a multi-tractor farm organization could put around 50 million pounds worth of tobacco in a year or a couple years. Yeah. Thinking of 50 million pounds in the late 1700s, whoa! I mean, that's an impressive, like, because you're not flying that across the ocean, you're having to boat that across the ocean. You're not doing
First
it.
First of all, you got to get it to the boat, so we're talking probably thousands of ox carts going back and forth constantly. Right. And then yeah, you're sailing that. You're probably sailing, I don't know, I want to say at least 10 ships, maybe 20 ships over to France to drop it off.
50 million pounds. I can't imagine those ships being able to carry over 5 million pounds apiece. And that's just cargo. That's not the people. That's not the rations. You've got to
rum. The very important rum.
To buy off the pirates.
Yeah, and scurvy.
Imagine being the pirate that goes up against this like super dope looking ship, and then you just walk down and it's like it's nothing but tobacco down here. It's like, what are we gonna do with this?
Yeah.
How long it would take I wonder how long it takes to smoke 50 million pounds of tobacco.
I don't know. But another fun fact I discovered. I just realized I cut off Bob and never let him talk, and he hasn't talked since.
That's okay. Keep going.
Okay, I just want to finish this other fun fact I discovered. Did you know that America consumes 52% of all the cigars in the world? Of all the other countries combined, we consume 52% of all the cigars in the world.
That's wild.
That is wild. Because
they say, 3% of Americans consume tobacco on a regular basis, and then it's like 1% of that 3% are people like us who are smoking multiple cigars a week, not just once out on the golf course or at the bachelor party or something like that.
Exactly.
I will say it does seem like there is an uptick in American populace smoking, and I think one of the metrics to see that is a few of these states who are trying to pass these generational tobacco bans. Now, obviously, I feel like the main target for that is not the premium cigar industry. It is the cigarette tobacco industry.
Which justifiably so. Like cigarettes have poisonous chemicals in it.
Right. I really just wish there would be a hard break in between. Okay, tobacco is not just, when you say tobacco, it's not just cigarettes.
Yeah.
Tobacco is so much more than cigarettes. And there are a bunch of really dope dudes who enjoy tobacco in a premium long filler cigar and or pipe.
Yes.
On the regular.
And that's why it is so incredibly important that more people support the CRA and the CAA, the Cigar Rights of America and the Cigar Association of America, because they've been doing in conjunction with the PCA, they've been doing amazing work at holding the government back from over-regulating cigars or regulating it, period.
And we've had some breakthrough wins in the past 12 months of the definition of premium tobacco and what that includes. Now, we're not completely there yet because we do have situations where some of the infused or sweet tip cigars are not being considered premium cigars, where there are many sweetened and infused cigars that do in fact qualify as premium cigars because they are long filler tobacco, they're rolled by hand, and they are body consumable chemicals that do alter the flavor, but again, it's not in a sense of like sweet bubblegum delicious. Get this at your gas station, 17-year-old boy.
They add a little bit of saccharin to the tip to make it sweet,
right?
And that's saccharin's it's a natural chemical.
And I learned about saccharin at this year's PCA from Steve Saka, because every time I've ever talked about a sweet tip, I'm like, yeah, it's like a sugar glue. And then Steve Saka was like, everybody calls it a sugar glue, but sugar actually goes rancid, and then it would poison your cigar and make you sick, and it wouldn't be good. It's saccharin. And so I did a whole deep dive on saccharin. I was like, oh, look at there. Sorry.
So educate us.
Go ahead, Bob the Cigar. I mean, it's what you said. It's a naturally occurring sweetener that does not have a basically quick expiration date on it. It just kind of fades into the nothingness. You don't age your, acid cigars from Drew Estate, because after time, the sweet tip will go away. Yeah, it's better to like the most enjoyment flavor you're ever going to get out of that acid cigar is the day you purchase it, because from then on out, it has a half-life, and it's actually not that long of a shelf life. Because I have some Tobacco Specials that I got from the 2019 Kentucky Barn Smoker at my house, and I lit one up the other day, and it tasted just like straight tobacco. And I was so disappointed because I wanted to taste a chocolatey sweet cigar, and it was just tobacco. And it was good tobacco. I mean, it wasn't bad. It smoked fine. It had been kept in a humidor, but it had lost its sweetness. It had lost that extra bit of flavor on it.
I'm assuming it has like a half-life where every year it loses 50% of what it lost the year before that.
Right. Bob, Cigar Guy, you look like you've got something you want to say. Go ahead.
What are your burning questions, Bob? We should just do a meme where we keep cutting him off every time we ask him to talk.
The 315 Cigar Aficionado says Bob's only said 48 words as total live.
Well, Chief is doing a great job being Chief and being a great interviewer, and Law is just, I'm in awe of Law. So I'm just sitting here geeking out on two great people doing great things, and I don't want to get in their way. But I have a question, a burning question for Law.
It's chlamydia. What?
Okay. Anyway, you have you have the amazing experiences and opportunities that you got to see cigars from the media side with the Republic of Debauchery, and diving in and doing amazing, phenomenal content and getting to know all these people. And I think you do the best Matt Booth interviews I've ever seen in my life. And you just bring out the best in all those people, but then you get to get inside of the industry, right? You get to go into a great company, Davidoff.
So glad you said the industry and not Matt Booth.
You've penetrated.
You went deep on both. Anyway, what are the great things about being media, and what are the great things about being in the industry? And then what are the things you miss about the media, and what are the things that you thought were going to be great about the industry that is just not as impressive as you thought it would be?
Well, that's like what, 4 questions? It's 8 questions.
Yes. Well, I only get to talk 48 words. So I had to fit them all in once.
Boo hoo.
Well, I can absolutely say the worst part about working in the industry on the manufacturer side is you don't get to experience PCA. You are stuck in your booth the entire show, and then you're going and doing events afterwards, and then you go to bed, you get 3 hours of sleep, and you start all over again. You just don't get to enjoy PCA like everyone else does. Retailers get to enjoy it. Media gets to enjoy it. All those people who sneak in through retailers and media and manufacturers get to enjoy it, but manufacturers do not get to enjoy it. Where media is working the whole time, sales reps are working the whole time. Like, I mean, we bring our, customer experience department, which is amazing. We bring, our salespeople, our duty-free people. We bring our the C-suite comes in. We have the director of marketing. Like, we have the whole marketing department there. We have everybody there. Nobody has like 2 seconds to breathe. And it sucks because my favorite part about PCA is going and seeing everything and hanging out with everyone and talking and geeking out. And you're just there to do work. So I do love it still, but because you still get to, after the show, instead of going to sleep, you hang out with everybody, and I had one of the greatest moments with Steve Saka ever after the last day of PCA last year, which was amazing. He told some stories that are not allowed to be repeated about the industry. And then the good side is I'm no longer living like per contract. I actually get a paycheck and benefits, and I actually really love what I do. And Davidoff has some of the greatest people ever. Like, not a single day in the last 2 years have I woken up and been like, ugh, I have to go to work. Like, I literally jump out of bed, can't wait to get to work. Like, I just run into work and I'm like, hey guys, what are we doing today? I just absolutely, and I know not every company has that culture, but Davidoff has amazing culture. A lot of people, after they leave Davidoff, they're like, where am I going to go from here? Where are you going to go? You're at the top. You're at the best company with the best people. Where do you go? Some of the things that I learned, I've learned way more about tobacco production. Being on the tour side, you learn a lot, but when you're giving the tours, you learn even more. They always say it's you learn more by teaching than by being taught. I've learned that master blenders, like blending a cigar, is pretty fucking easy. Keeping that cigar consistent over 20, 30 years, that is very extremely difficult and requires a palate like nobody's business. I don't know what else you get. What are the other questions?
It was about the greatness of being a media person.
The greatness about being a media person is, again, you get to meet and hang out with all these amazing people. There's no other industry where you can go hang out with the person that makes your product. Not in the wine industry, not in the whiskey industry, maybe some of the smaller companies, but the biggest company in cigars, you can usually meet the people behind the product, if not the people that's family started that company, or that person that started that company. There's no other industry in the world like that, where you just have complete access to the people that make your product that you love. On the media side, like, I'm in the position where I'm privileged to get all the questions answered that I wanted, that I'm like, how does this happen? What does this do? But now a lot of those things I can't share with people because they're insider secrets. That's also sad, because I love teaching people about every aspect of cigars.
Now, with like on the same mind track, because I feel like being a part of the media, because I still am, because I don't have like a do not compete kind of sort of deal, right? Being in the media for almost a decade, maybe not as being chief for a decade, but being a part of Bob the Cigar Guy for almost a decade has really affected for the positive my interactions with people in the cigar shop scene, in the sense of, like, I've had the privilege to sit down with master blenders, CEOs, people who have been very instrumental in the growth of cigar companies that are huge and in the world, and I get to take that information into the cigar shop, and I get asked on a daily basis, how do you know so much of this stuff? It's like, well, I actually just get to sit down with so many people. But do you feel like before taking on your role, obviously with Zeno first, but also with Camacho, do you feel like being Law Ream of the Republic of Debauchery sets you up for success as your role as a cigar ambassador and spokesperson, gospel slinger of your brand? Or do you feel like it has hindered you in the negative, in the sense of, I really never thought that this was a part of it from the media side that is in the full industry side?
Not really. I think it's only helped me, because when you put out a YouTube video and you say something wrong, people will roast you like no business. There's a cigar forum out there I will not mention. I have not been on it in 4 years, and I just went and checked in, a month ago, and they're still roasting me. Like I'm not even kidding. They're still talking about me like it happened yesterday, and I haven't been on there in 4 years. So when you get something wrong, people don't let you forget it. Like I used to think Maduro was a leaf. Like I didn't know it was a process.
Right.
So when you get something wrong, you learn very quickly. But when you're on the manufacturer side, people don't like to correct you, or they just don't correct you because they think you're right, because you should have all the secrets. So I think it helped me in bringing in the knowledge that I have, because I don't think very many people would correct me today. And then it also helped me in my camera presence or my in-person presence. If you look at my first interview ever was with Steve Saka, unfortunately, because I had no idea about him or the industry or anything about cigars. So I wasted that whole interview, and I was just like asking questions as a geek, instead of getting into like the deeper stuff that other people want to know. But that did help me become more, better at giving cigar education, better, it gave me more cigar knowledge. It gave me more confidence in teaching people about cigars. And I absolutely love teaching about cigars. Like I can't believe I get paid to do this when I used to fight to get money to stay alive doing it,
Right. Now, with the having an extensive history and background of being in the cigar media, and now being, you were the voice for Zeno for 2 years. You're now one of the voices for Camacho. And so that means you get inundated with requests to come on shows. This is your second show of the week. Shout out my boys over at Chi-Town Cigar Podcast. You were over on their show on Tuesday. If you guys did not watch that, go watch it back. That's where the whole inspiration for bringing out the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme music is because you talked about that being, like an intro music for you to come out to. So hopefully more people will go back and utilize that. But since you are the voice and the spokesperson for Camacho and, formerly Zeno, do you ever get into interviews where you're like, man, I wish I could take over this interview because you guys are just kind of missing the mark? Or do you feel like, it's more fun to just be on the other side and ask the questions instead of asking the questions?
I like both equally. So podcast wise, there's a whole spectrum. There are podcasters that are just getting started that don't know anything about cigars, and I love educating them on just how to cut a cigar properly, And then there's, people that are so in depth in the industry, like Matthew Tobacco or Cigar Coop, that you have to watch years of their videos to know what they're talking about. So you get to really like dive in deep, and they have questions you've never even thought of. You actually, Bob asking me tonight about the Maduro taught me something that I need to go learn. Like I have to go learn, like, what primings do we use in this cigar? So all I know is that every leaf is a Maduro. I don't know if we can actually somehow make a Ligero burn properly with another procedure, or if we actually have Velato in there. So there's still stuff I need to know. And being on the More Experienced podcast, you learn what you need to know. So it's, you know cigars. It doesn't matter if you're in this industry for 50 years or 5 days, you're not going to know everything. It's impossible.
Right. It's a little shout out to Bob the Cigar over there asking the hard hitting.
That was a great question. That was a really good question I'd never thought of.
I just asked the dumb questions. I want to know. I know a little bit, and that's about it. But what I want to know is Davidoff ever going to step up their game and come out with a line of cigars called the Bucket of Butter. We need the bucket of butter. I'm
Well,
just saying.
I am no longer associated with a business that might sell a product called Buckets of Butter. But if they were to create such a product, I feel like that might be trademarked in some way or form.
That was the last hurrah for Republic of Debauchery as well. You know, we never got to see that like fully blow up into what it could have become.
Yep. I mean, it's still. I had to take myself off the company. Albert still owns it, and he keeps it going on. Although he's not doing anything with it. Maybe one day he'll retire from being a super ultra powerful attorney and just start doing cigar education himself. You never know.
I for the last 2 years, I was hoping that there would be an Albert cameo at the PCA. Because while he's not a joy of a ray of sunshine for most, you know what? I love being around Albert because for whatever reason, Albert and me, we kind of just like, I feel like I get the most out of Albert.
Albert, yes, he is, especially if you were going against him in a court of law, he is a ferocious human being. Or if you were providing a service and that service is not to his liking, you will regret the day you met Albert. However, in the cigar industry, he loved everybody. Nobody in the cigar industry got the raw side of Albert that the rest of the world gets. And it's this is where he comes to be in his happy place.
Shout out Albert.
Shout out Albert, who gave me permission to pop this bottle of, hold on one second. 18-year Zephyr Hills water.
Nice.
Made in Scotland.
Nice.
Thank you for allowing me that permission.
The Islay des Zephyr. We've got a bring back law with the Republican of Debauchery.
It was a Republic of Debauchery, just like the United States of America is a republic, not a democracy.
Well, I will say, you know, I love all forms of law, right? You, Bob the Cigar Guy, myself, we've been friends for many years now, spanning right after COVID. And we've been 5 years, very close to the day. Yeah, very close. We were out there shivering in October in Kentucky around a fire pit that was not warming us at all.
Thank God you were so aggressive because I was ready to go to bed. We had Barn Smoker again the next day. And you're like, dude, you're giving me all this information, but I was done. And you said, look, we'll go get some beers. And if you give me your phone, I will audit your channel. And I'm like, yeah. Really? You said, yeah. And I said, all right. And that's where it took off. That's just, you know, you started off this whole relationship just pouring into me and pouring into the channel and pouring into us. And here we are.
I met you because I flew from LA where I was at the Mr. Beast School of YouTube. And I met you the next day. And that's when I was like, I have so much knowledge about YouTube and how to do it. Let me just dump it on you right now. You got the very best of that. Because I have forgotten almost all of that since then.
Now, I will say, as much as because I've gotten to experience law in real life, I've gotten to experience the Republic of Debauchery, and now I've gotten to experience Xeno law, and now I get to experience Camacho, the Camacho Macho Man. I will say I am more a fan of law, like law as just law, as who he is, having conversations and just kicking it back and relaxing. Now, that is the one thing that sucks about you working the PCA is, we can go through multiple years of group chats now and be like, Law didn't hang out with anybody because Law's working with everybody. And so everybody's able to hang out except for Law. And so like, that sucks because I like you as a human, as Lawrence, before anything else. But, I love Law as Xeno Camacho Law more than I did the Republic of Debauchery. Just because you seem to have found your niche, man. You seem to, mean, I get the whole, you were talking about when you go from a media side, you're working contract to contract to try to stay in the thing that you love. And then you found a job that allows you to do that, to have the benefits. And I get that, right? I mean, I'm not on the scale that you are in the sense of, working for a big, one of the largest companies in the world when it comes to tobacco, one of the most historical companies, in the world when it comes to tobacco. But I get to work in the industry in the sense of a retailer, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it more. While I love doing the Chief Talk stuff and I love doing the Bob the Cigar Guy stuff, there is the sense of so much comfortability with just clocking in, working, and not feeling like you're working a job and getting paid to do it. It's like, I'm never complaining the day that I go into work to do this. And so when you were talking about that with you were happy to get up and go into the offices to go do your job, or to go to Honduras to, do Camp Camacho, or travel the world in a big yellow banana. Like, it's dope to see how much you love the job. And I think that's what makes the brand so successful, is if you have somebody who you can truly see is in love with what they do, you want to be a part of that. You want to jump on that energy, and you carry a lot of energy. You've got a lot of energy. I mean, it is hard to keep up with Law. There's a lot of energy there, and you bring it. And you talk about, you don't know why these brands are so successful, and I think it's because of you, man. I mean, you and Jack are, dope with the brand. You love it. You want to see it grow. You want to see it live, but you want to see it thrive. And it's the same thing with Zeno, right? Zeno is still doing Zeno because you left it in the capable hands of Tom, but you also launched it with the fierce tenacity and ferocity that said, you know what? Even if I'm not here, this cigar is going to continue to go because of how many people fell in love with it, because I was in love with it. And you're doing the same thing with Camacho. And I think that's an invaluable part of what makes you, you.
I appreciate that. And I agree. I do absolutely love it. And that helps, like, because if you ever see somebody trying to sell something that they don't believe in, I mean, you have sales reps that come into your lounge and they're just like the general cigar guy. I feel so bad for those sales reps, because they're like, here's a new cigar. We have 2 new cigars this month. Right. Can we get more shelf space? And you're like, no, you got to remove some of your SKUs if you want a new, cigar on the shelf. We're not going to take away from your competitors unless it's a banger of a cigar. And even then, you probably have some stuff that's not moving, and it's just like, they're like, yeah, I understand. We'll just buy what you can. And then you get somebody that comes in that loves their cigars, like, say like Lee from Stolen Thrones, who's doing his own sales. He's going to sell the shit out of his cigar because he loves his cigar,
Yeah. Or there's a definite difference, from somebody who works in a lounge now that gets to see reps that I never knew were reps before. And the reason I never knew they were reps is because they didn't rep the company in the way that was like, we have some reps who will come in with brands that we don't currently have in the humidor, and they will spend a little time with our owner, and they'll say, hey, I'm such and such and so from so and so. This is our brand. I want to give you some cigars to try. Thank you for your opportunity. And then they stay. They sit at the bar and they get a couple drinks, and then they go and they sit in the couches and they hang out with the people that are there. And they're like, hey, have you ever heard of my brand? This is a brand that I rep. This is a brand that I would love for you guys to have. But in case you've never heard of us before, here's a cigar. And they create a connection with the people who are there, in the sense it's like, you know what? This is a guy who loves this brand. I want to check these guys out. And then we get questions like, hey, that dude from such and so was here last week. Did you ever think about possibly bringing them in? It's like, yeah, we are going to bring them in. They're like, I can't wait for, something to pop up on the shelves, because that guy sold me on the brand just by being who he was.
Yeah. And that's, unfortunately for that guy, the majority of sales reps in the industry love what they do. Like, nobody leaves this industry once you're in it. Like, they might jump companies, but they don't leave the industry, because it's the greatest industry ever working. And so again, I appreciate you saying all the kind words, but we have the best sales reps in the whole industry. And they're all completely different people. They all have completely different strategies, but they all are very passionate about cigars. And like I said earlier, Davidoff has this amazing culture where everybody at the company loves everybody. There's not one person that we work with. There's like, oh, here comes Bob. Fuck, Bob's here. There's not a single person. We're all so excited to see each other all the time. And I mean, I know Drew Estate has a great culture. I know some other cigar companies that I will not mention have a terrible culture and they just loathe going into work every day.
Right.
We have the best reps. We have the best marketing department. We have the best customer service department. Like everybody wants to do better every day and they all love their jobs. And that is the reason for the success behind Zeno and Camacho and Davidoff and Avo. Like they're all growing. All the brands are growing across the board. And that's not because of one single person ever.
Right.
We just have an awesome company. And if that wasn't true, I wouldn't say it because I'm not somebody who can bullshit.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I think I think you hit the nail on the head with, when it comes to getting the word out there, especially in the sense of marketing and branding, getting stuff out into the hands of social content creators. Davidoff is one of the only companies that is hitting it really hard in the non-print and non-YouTube cigar review media. Davidoff as a parent, right? Because it's Davidoff, Avo, Camacho, Zeno are
and like 6 other brands
are actively, getting a hold of Instagram influencers or Instagram content creators, YouTube content creators, Facebook creators, and getting their stuff out there because you guys see the value of getting your brand out there in front. Because, it's not taboo to talk about in cigar humidors or cigar lounges which brand are the snobby brands. The brands that have been there forever that kind of just push their name and expect to live on their name only. And for the longest time, I will say not currently, but for the longest time, Davidoff, their name was up there at the top of the list because Davidoff seemed unapproachable from the regular common man. And Davidoff's acquirement of, the Camacho label, the reinvention of the Zeno brand has made them get into more humidors across the country, but also into more personal humidors because they are appealing to the spectrum of cigar smokers. I think the company that does that the best in the world is Drew Estate. And I don't just say that because they're a sponsor and because I have a dope relationship with them, but I believe that Drew Estate kind of has, earmarked that as their brand identity for who they are because they have such a broad spectrum of cigars, right? You have your ultra uber luxury in the Liga Privada line. You have your, step down from that into the Undercrown line, and then you get into the Herreras, but then you start getting into, a whole entire different world of smokes with non-traditional and acid and tobacco, into the Deadwood line. And then you get into, we're just going to get cigars into the hands of people who want to buy a bundle of cigars for $35 in factory smokes. Right.
Yeah.
And Davidoff there was a question here earlier, that said, y'all may have discussed already, but what is the relationship with Davidoff, Avo, Camacho? But Davidoff taking on those brands and making them synonymous within one of another, I think has been a huge leap forward for Davidoff as a PR kind of sort of thing. It's been it's not putting lipstick on a pig. It's just showing that, if you're smoking Avo, if you're smoking Camacho, if you're smoking Zeno, you're also smoking Davidoff. And if you're smoking Davidoff, you're also smoking Camacho. You're also smoking Avo, Zeno. And I think that Davidoff is the current company who is coming into that more than any other company, aside from companies who have been doing it, and that company being Drew Estate.
Yeah. And you would think a company like Davidoff, which has the reputation of the suit and tie and the buttoned up persona, they were actually very malleable, they're like, hey, what do you think would help? And you're like, excuse me? You're like, you guys have been doing this for hundreds of years. I figured you would not listen to anything we have to say. And they're very open to listening to anything Like I can have a conversation with the chief marketing officer of the world very easily. Like there's nobody in the whole company that's unapproachable. Like not even the CEO of the company. You know, he comes to PCA every year. Anybody could talk to him. He's very happy to talk to everybody.
Right.
And
you know, I've seen that, you know, with, you know, we did with the first time we ever did anything with Davidoff related at PCA was last year. And since then,
well, that's last year was their first year back at PCA since IPCPR pre 2020.
But like that was the first time that we had any interaction. Now, a lot of that comes to do with the fact that, you know, Jack Heyer got a hold of us because of his relationship with us and Drew Estate previously. But when we're over there, when we jump into the Davidoff scene, we're not treated as outsiders like we thought we would be because we didn't show up in suit and tie, right? There's this you know, preconception of, oh, well, if I go to the Davidoff booth, I better be in $1,000, you know, suede t-shirt and $2,000 suit and $750 loafers. But honestly, when you're there, you don't experience that. And it feels, to me, it does feel like, and maybe because I've been around it for now just 2 years only, maybe my skew is off, but it does feel like Davidoff, the ensemble of what Davidoff is making a more like calculated push to not just be the guys who can afford the Davidoff Oro Blancos anymore. We want to be a part of the American scene. We don't want to just be the European scene, but we also want to be a part of the 52% of cigar smokers of the world come from the United States of America. And most of those people aren't people who buy the Davidoff Oro Blanco. They're the people who buy the Camacho Triple Maduro, the Zeno Nicaragua kind of deal.
Yeah. And that's what the Camacho party was. And Jack and I suggested that. We're like, you know what nobody else does at PCA? Have an open party for the whole industry. And they're like, okay, well, let's have a Camacho party where it's open invitation. Anyone can come that wants to come. Like, as media, I never saw that with any company. Like usually, you know, we would go back, we'd play slots, we'd hang out circle bar, meet some people, but we never got invited to parties unless it was somebody we worked directly with, you know? And we're just like, how great would it be if we just threw a party and let everybody come?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we could do that. No problem. And they threw the Camacho party. Like,
and it was a banger party. I enjoyed it.
There was nobody up front checking names off a list or anything. It was just like, do you smoke cigars? You know, like we didn't want people off the street coming in, but it was like, hey, do you have your PCA badge? Come on in, have fun.
Right. And it was a lot of fun. So much fun that I really wanted to jump into that jacuzzi pool that was in the middle, but I didn't want to jeopardize the good name of Bob the Cigar Guy in the industry, so decided not to do that.
If I was Zeno back then, but if I was Camacho, I would have jumped in because that seems like a Camacho thing to do. You missed your opportunity, Jack Heyer.
Yeah, Jack should have. Jack should have. All right, Bob, your turn. You're sleeping over there.
I am. So I'm getting tired, and I'm listening to y'all wax eloquently, but I just want to let y'all see that this is the second Triple Maduro.
You're on your second. I'm just finishing my first.
Well, slacker.
Well, he hasn't.
I know you were smoking a Toro, which is what I'm smoking.
I mean, I've smoked two of them, and I don't have any effects of swimmy or nauseous or any of that. So I'm just gonna tell you, it has that full flavor that when people say, "Well, that cigar is strong." Strength is how that nicotine affects you, right? There's flavor, and this has a strong flavor. You get the minerality, you get the turned earth, you get the meatiness, you get the spiciness, you get all the great flavors rolling around, a little bit of dark espresso, and Law's having a conniption fit. Did I say the wrong thing, or did you set yourself on fire?
My ass flew under my foot.
No shoes?
I mean, I have shoes on.
It's definitely not a raw dog on the floor over there.
Hopefully pants as well, but you know, as long as the camera stays high.
I can confirm he is at least in shorts. I'm looking back through the comments over here to see if there's any good questions that I missed over here.
Sorry, that is like the 13th time we've cut off Bob.
Oh, was he
All
talking? Sorry, didn't hear him.
I'm used to it. I mean, it's just my backyard. So,
Supremo Tobacco wants to know when we're going to get the Unleashed 4.
I don't know, but you know what? Jack and I will make sure that happens. Maybe, possibly. Maybe there's something cooler in the works. I don't know. Maybe I do know. Maybe I can't say.
So cryptic.
Jimbo Doug wants to know, will you and Matt Booth make a collaboration? I'm assuming that's not for your OnlyFans content.
Well, you would have to find where that is. We are lovers in a visceral sense, as Matt would say. But yeah, if I ever started my own cigar company, I'm pretty sure him and I would immediately make a cigar together called Love Child.
Sammy Flo said Bob had time to enjoy 2 cigars since he wasn't allowed to finish a thought.
that's fair enough.
I'm winning. I got to smoke 2 cigars. These slackers only smoke.
Now, one
a half
person
to
who does
3/4.
have like direct access to Matt Booth at all times, Supremo Tobacco, says he'll send you some feed pics.
Does Matt know that you're selling these on the side? I don't think he'd like it if you're working with someone else.
He's probably selling Matt's feet pics. He probably has pics of Matt's feet.
In that case, I will buy.
He did abandon me at in New Orleans to go hang out with Matt Booth. I'm not still sore about that or cry about it almost every night.
As you shouldn't be. Matt Booth is the most eloquent psychopath in the history of the world.
Oh no, I was very jealous that I was not invited to that. But I also would not have wanted to jump in the middle of that because Matt definitely seems of like the caliber of he needs a reset at times. And I was happy that Brian got to go hang out with Matt when there weren't 7,000 people around him trying to get him to do naughty things to a cigar.
Do you guys want to hear a fun Matt Booth story?
I would love to hear a fun Matt Booth story.
So we were doing the what was it? The Great Lakes Cigar Festival, which last year was our first year. They didn't do it this year, but they're going to do it next year. And Matt was kind of tired of hanging out at the show. So a couple of consumers are like, oh, we bought your humidor. You know, that super colorful humidor with like the 20 drawers?
Yeah, the anniversary humidor.
Yeah. And this couple's like, yeah, we bought that humidor. It'd be great if you can autograph us for it. Like, autograph it for us. And he said, yeah, no problem. Where is it? And they're like, in our hotel room. He goes, all right, let's go. And he left in the middle of the multi-vendor event and went and hung out with them in their hotel room for like 3 hours. Complete strangers. He'd never met them before.
That definitely sounds like a Matt Booth thing of, you know what? I love you guys. I'm going to come do it right now.
Yeah, that tracks.
Matt Berger wants to know, are there any plans to make it up to the Minneapolis area?
No.
Now you are actively doing the Camacho 250 events, correct? Like are you showing up to these or?
Yeah, I'm doing the majority of them. So there's only 60 total events, and we have something coming out later this year that I have to reserve my time for as well. So I'm doing probably a good 40 of them, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, like 30 to 40 of them. Yes, that was the answer to your question.
Michael Zachvek, who is a part of the Chi-Town Cigar podcast, wants to know, Law, who could have possibly gotten sick smoking the Triple de Maduro?
Michael, I'm glad you asked that question because nobody, unless they're a brand new smoker, can get sick from smoking that cigar. It is a medium body cigar with less nicotine than a normal medium body cigar. Thank you. Thank you for coming in my TED Talk.
Passionate, one may say.
Honestly, just like everybody else, I was weary of that cigar. I didn't want to try it. I'm like, sounds very heavy. I've tried heavy cigars in the past. They've made me sick. Very few, but they've been there. And I thought the Triple Maduro would be one until I smoked it like yourself. Because I remember you and the whole Dead Leaf Breakfast Club was like, how have I not smoked this cigar before? Everybody in the Dead Leaf Breakfast Club said that. And I was shocked that none of you had, because you guys have smoked more cigars than anyone I have ever met. But I was wary of it. I smoked it, and immediately on the first puff, I was like, this is not a strong cigar.
Right.
So, but that is one of those tropes, kind of like back in the 90s when everyone's like, did you know Marilyn Manson had his ribs removed so he could suck his own dick? Like, the whole world knew that. Good timing.
A little slow on the button there.
But it's one of those things that people repeat so often that other people that have never tried the cigar repeat it just because. And it's bullshit. It is a medium body cigar that has less nicotine than a normal medium body cigar.
Right.
It's a 5 to 6 out of 10 at max nicotine wise.
Yeah. Now I'm of the same, I've sold the cigar multiple times in the humidor, and some people are like, hey, I love Maduro cigars. I want a cigar that's just going to smoke me under the table. And I'm like, and they say, okay, where's that Camacho Triple Maduro? And I was like, hey, we've got the Camacho Triple Maduro, but it's surprisingly not going. It's not the La Flor Dominicana Double Lajero, right? Or the Alec Bradley Double Broadleaf, right? Those are cigars that are high nicotine content. And to be fair, there are a multitude of Maduro cigars out there that smoke a lot heavier than a Connecticut Shade or an Ecuadorian Habano or,
Drew State Shade 84 is a very strong Connecticut.
It is. The S84 is not the, that's a nice water pour. Brought to you by Zephyr Hills of Scotland.
It's so dirty.
That's Zephyr Hills. Is that bottled in Flint, Michigan?
I believe that's their Florida chapter or their Michigan chapter. Yes. Don't say
we have. It is. Camacho. They did the whole box is black, right? So when you see the box, you've got the bands. On the cigar, they're black and silver bands. They look like a spicy meatball, but that's the spiciest thing about it is the branding on it. It is a medium body cigar. It's a nice chocolate bomb. I enjoy it a lot and was completely surprised by that when I had it at the party last year and thought, okay, I could smoke this on an empty stomach and be A-okay.
Yeah. And the reason the packaging is the way that it is, the reason it's so over the top compared to other Camacho cigars is because that's part of the Master Built series, which used to have the bourbon barrel aged, the rum barrel. It had those cigars in it, but now it's just the Triple Maduro until we add a new cigar to that line. But that's why the packaging looks so intense, is because that's the high end of the Camacho core line.
Right. So no, it's I'm a fan of that cigar. That is my favorite Camacho. The Ecuador isn't the box press. That's another favorite of mine. I was never a fan of the Liberty series. I thought, cool coffins. I think that was the first time I'd ever seen cigars that came individually in their own coffins. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. It's really special. And then didn't enjoy the cigar. Now, it has been quite a minute since I've had any of the Liberty series. So I also used to not like Roma Craft at all. And now Roma Craft is one of my favorite cigars to smoke because of the depth and profile that is there. So maybe it was just too early on in my cigar smoking noviceness to have appreciated what that cigar truly was. But the Triple Maduro is my go-to Camacho. If anybody says, hey, what Camacho in there should I grab? Triple Maduro is right there on the top of the list.
Yeah, I have a theory about the palate, right? I have this theory I've been developing, and so far it's been proven to be pretty true. All right, now you guys ready for this?
Go ahead.
You start up here, right? You just get into the cigar industry. So you're starting here, you're a new cigar smoker. You can only handle light nicotine cigars. Most, there's exceptions, but you can only handle light nicotine cigars, so you smoke what's light. And then as you smoke enough of those, you start moving over to here, where Camacho sits. And these are in-your-face flavor cigars. Like, they just have, they're not ultra complex. They don't have these crazy transitions, but they are very flavorful. So now you smoke light cigars, you move yourself to flavorful cigars. That is your second. Most people stop here. They don't go beyond this point. But if you do keep going, you'll move here where you're starting to smoke cigars that are a little bit more complex, that have a little bit more change in the transitions. And to me, that is Avo, right? And then you move over here to Davidoff, and you're like, hey, these are light cigars that are extremely complex and nuanced. And I'm talking about the white band ones. These are extremely complex and nuanced. No, you know what? I'll say over here is the black band ones. They are heftier, but they are extremely complex and nuanced, and you have to have a pretty developed palate to really appreciate what they are. And then you come over here back to the top where you're smoking light cigars that are extremely complex and nuanced, but you can pick up those very subtle flavors and transitions. And now you're in the Davidoff white bands. And that
so it's a spectrum.
Come full circle.
You come full circle. No, spectrum is side to side.
Circle.
Like you would have to like go here and then all the way back over here on a spectrum. But this is a full circle, like Bob said.
I'm on the spectrum, so it makes more sense if I say that.
I think all of us are.
Turtle.
In one way or another.
Squirrel. Well, I don't want this to ever end, but I must go to bed. So I'm going to leave the two great gentlemen with the rest of the show. Family, I love you. Law, I am so glad that I got to talk with you even virtually. Y'all don't understand how much Law has poured into me and been willing to say, hey, you're an idiot. Don't do that.
I honestly, I feel like I kicked a puppy every time I give you a critique. I'm like, oh man, I beat him up so hard. But then you come back and you're like, I made the changes you suggested. Here's my new content. And I have to say,
okay, now that's
your video.
Now do this.
I want to give you one more compliment before you go to bed, because Bob is a very important person to BMW. He is a very important person in the cigar industry, and he's loved, but he's also loved and important to BMW. So he's working hard lately, and he needs to go get his rest to work on some of the most luxurious cars built in America.
America. That's right.
They
Absolutely.
are indeed built in America.
In great American factories.
Y'all.
Maybe designed in Europe, but built in America.
Germany, the heartbeat of Germany, but
Yes.
America.
But I would like to say your video, I believe it was with the Pure Dominicano where you're going to cut it with the bandsaw. That was hilarious. That was some of the funniest shit I ever saw. I was dying where you're like talking to yourself. Oh my God. Good stuff, man. And you've come a long way from your earlier content. My favorite video before that is when you did the knife video where you're just chopping up a whole bunch of stuff. And I knew you had to put a whole lot of prep work into that, but now you're putting a whole lot of post work into these videos.
Right.
And it's very much appreciated.
I still have the knife right here. So
Wow, that's right there.
yeah. No, it's literally, it's South Carolina. We don't play. So, but yeah, there it is.
So, Bob, you're never scared of the hard work. You just want to know what to work on.
That's a fact. And I thank you for all the help that you've given me and the love that you poured into me and Chief.
I think they're just ass kickings, but you're welcome no matter what you want to call them.
I know they're done with love. And it's important as a dad, coming from a dad perspective, to see your kids and Chief in this topic, to have great people around them, because they don't listen to their dad, but when they have great people surrounding them, that those people are gonna pour into them as well. And so I am glad that Steven gets to count you as one of his friends and close friends at that. So I do appreciate you for that, and I appreciate you for putting up with me as well. So
you shut the fuck up, Bob. Everyone loves you. Nobody puts up with you at all.
They all love Chief. Nobody loves me. It's all the Chief.
Oh, here he goes. The Sab story now.
Yeah, you know what?
Boo-hoo,
I will say there's one
for
part of
me.
you I don't like, and that's that self-deprecating bullshit right there.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Facts is
get away with that
facts.
sap bullshit.
Facts is facts. But I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Good night.
Get some good sleep. Love you,
Steve,
brother.
pull me out.
Okay, I will remove
Now
Bob's
it's just
cigar guy like that.
now we got rid of the third wheel, Chief. Let's get into it.
Still in the damn cuss on the dang show.
Hey, you choose what you do and do not say about the cigar guy. Nobody can make you say anything.
How often does Bob curse on this show? Because I don't think I've ever heard it before.
On the show, it's that may be the 5th time. On the channel, maybe the 6th time.
I'm still in the damn room. That's hilarious.
No, no, it is. I always do appreciate when Bob the Cigar Guy gets on his kicks of trying to improve things, because he'll send me stuff and he'll be like, "Hey, I sent this to Law too," and I'll be like, "Great," because I know that like I can rip apart something that he does, or like he's trying to do something new, and I'm like, "Hey, probably shouldn't do that. Hey, you turn your sound off over there. Thank you. You probably shouldn't do that, or I wouldn't go that route, or no, you don't need that light for that situation." And he never listens to me. And then you'll send him back the message that says everything that I said to him. And he'll be like, "You'll never believe what Law told me. He said that I need to do this and this and this and this." And I'll be like, "Yeah, I told you that 2 months ago." And he was like, "Yeah, you were right. I just didn't want to say you're right. But Law said it, and it's like gospel." So
yeah,
I'm always a fan of your information given back to Bob the Cigar Guy as well, because a lot of time it's the same, but when he hears it from you, he knows that you went to YouTube University, and it's like not your kid telling you what to do.
Also, your family. You grew up with each other. You know each other's faults in and out. Whoa! You just got real dark there. Are we getting dark? We're about to get dark, because I remember exactly where I was in the country. I was driving in the Colorado River Valley. I was going west of Colorado through the mountains, and Bob called me and he's like, "Here's my latest video. What do you think?" I was like, "Bob, I got a lot of time, and you did nothing right on this video." I was like, "All the things I've taught you over the years, you have reverted away from them. And let me tell you," and I spent an hour just telling him every bad move he made on that video.
I am thankful for those, because he does get a lot of because you're right, like there are so many people in the cigar world and the media world who adore Bob the Cigar Guy, and they're not willing to be like, shoot the puppy kind of sort of deal, where you're like, "I'll shoot 3 puppies if I need to." But that's where it comes from. Like, that's from the heart. That's the love. That's I want to see you do better. And I will say, it is nice to have that little bit of an echo chamber, from you, in the sense of, man, because there have been times where he's been like, he's taken my advice, because he knows that if he contacts you and you repeat the same thing that I said, he knows it's going to be, "Oh, Chief is going to say, I told you this 2 months ago." So he just does it. So nowadays it's kind of, he's getting better at the taking what I say we should do situation and just doing it, instead of, "Well, I'll put that on the back burner for 2 months, and then when my views are down or my interaction isn't where I want it to be, and I ask Law for something, and then Law says, 'Oh, you should do what Chief said 2 months ago.'" Which right now the big one is the Osmo 3 that he just bought, that he's using for his camera and he's doing stuff with. And he's like, "I've had a webcam this whole time. What's wrong with that?" I'm like, "Yeah, but you could be doing so much more." So no, we're definitely big fans of Law Ream's still in the social media department brain trust for Bob.
You know what kills me about social media? You saw me with Republican Debauchery. I was doing these, me, and when I luckily had Caleb doing edits, like we were just going so over the top. And when we had a great video, it'd get like 2,000 views on Instagram. We're like, "Oh yes." And now I'm doing these low effort, very easy to do, just film myself smoking a cigar, put it in a little bit of slow motion, clip it for 8 seconds, and then I put some text over it, and I'm getting over 100,000 views now.
It's crazy. You have found the special sauce, in the sense of like interaction and viewership. Like there's not much brain power behind it. It's not like, super pretty authentic work where you're doing this with the cigar and the this and then that with the lighter and the cutter. Like, it's literally this you looking dope in front of your wall of tobacco and some really funny punchline, that goes over top of it, or something that's a little deep for America 250 or whatnot. And it's like, this is the sauce for interaction. Like, and it's funny, like, you found the sauce when you're not a social media content creator anymore. Like, you work for a company, like, you don't have anything to prove in the sense of, hey, this is my viewership and this is my numbers and all this other stuff. It's like, you found the secret sauce once you were finally out of it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. When I was like, I don't have time to make good content, let me just put these like 8-second videos out, and then it's like blows up, and you're just like, fuck you. I didn't do shit to earn these views. I worked so hard on these previous videos. Even when I was on a Xeno tour, I was putting together these long edits I would film all day, and they're like 30-second videos, but they take me like 5-6 hours to do.
Right.
And now I'm doing these 8-second videos that I do on my couch while my wife is watching whatever she's watching, and I'm just like, God damn it. Why is it so easy? God damn it.
It works. It works. I mean, you even had like what was it, a 2-week competition where people were also doing the law smolder, stop and stare kind of sort of deal.
That was Mike from Miami. Enjoy a cigar, Mike.
Right.
That was his whole deal, and I was like, hey, if you want to give away a box of Camachos, I'll reach out to a shop and get you a discount. That was all him. But it actually started with Mike Palmer from Cigar Hustler mocking me. And then he didn't enjoy a cigar. Mike didn't even see that video. And he just did the same thing like a few days later. And then it exploded from there.
It's funny how, some of the least efforted content creations end up getting the most genuine interaction. I still feel like, even though I work for a cigar shop and I'm a cigar, and I call myself a cigar evangelist in the sense of like slinging cigars and doing the thing, but like I'm still the social media content creator. And it's funny, like I will put my heart and soul every Monday into making these sets for photos or videos for reels. But then I put like these stupid little things together on my phone in the humidor talking about cigars, and it's like, ha ha ha, we love this more. This is so much greater. And it's like, I have a $5,000 camera and lens that I'm doing all this other stuff with, and you guys don't show it any love. And I pull out my $800 iPhone from 4 years ago, and you guys are like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever."
Yeah. And $600 of that is just fucking processors and fucking for making phone calls and surfing the internet.
Right? Yeah, the camera on there was literally $32.
Really like a $50 camera.
I mean, the quality is not as good. It's not as crisp. It's not as sharp. The color balance is off. It's like, but you guys love this. And so it's funny, like trying to, there's a fine balance, because Meta obviously hates tobacco, and, they put you in all sorts of, bans, and you can't say, come buy these things or whatever. But you put together some silly iPhone video that lasts, 46 seconds. And it's like, that's what hit the algorithm. That's what chooch. That's what got you 150 followers in 2 weeks.
I don't think that's true. I don't think Meta dislikes cigars. I just think they
dislike advertising. That's for sure.
Well, think about it. Well, maybe advertising, but if you think about it, 3% of America, or maybe 8% of America smokes cigars, but like 3% of America smoke cigars. And then like 10% of those people actually consume social media about cigars, but they're also consuming social media about other things too. So maybe like 5% of those people consume only social media about cigars. So we're just in such a small niche. Like I've seen videos of somebody rolling a cigar get millions of views, and Meta doesn't care. They don't knock you for it. I just think we're just working in such a small niche, and we're doing it because we love it. Like to make a banger video, if it gets 50,000 views, you killed it.
Right. Yeah, there's a definite difference, because like when I post on my own personal or on the Bob the Cigar Guy stuff, right? That is a talking about cigars or showcasing cigars, and those are the things that usually get a little traction. You get for an account that's got 2,000 followers or whatever, you get 100 likes on it. It's like, that's actually a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
But then when you're like working as a shop account, and then you're like, we just brought in these cigars and they're on the shelf, and come get them for Father's Day or something like that. It's like, in the tank. That's not going to 2% of your audience, and it's not going to hit the For You page. So there's definitely way to get around it. But I think that's one of the reasons why the iPhone stuff works so well is because there's not a lot of thought put into it, and it's just we're going to put this out into the ether. We're not making it professional, and the algorithm's like, hey, this looks like a self-care and health boutique kind of sort of deal.
Yeah. Well, I will say, like, YouTube probably hates cigars more than Meta does. But if you look at Dreamer Cigar,
oh yeah,
he nailed it. Like, if you make how to cut a video, how to light a cigar video, like how to, everything after that, like, drops off. How to cut, how to light, that's what the majority of people are looking up. So
Right.
if you look at the man who nailed it, he started with long form content and he immediately transitioned to short form content, which is Dreamer Cigar. And he has never left basic cigar content. He's never gone, like, everything we've talked about tonight is very advanced cigar content.
Right.
He has never left small little tips on cigars, and he's doing, are you ready for this? 40 million views a year on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh,
just doing shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just because our the biggest audience in cigars is new cigar smokers. Once you go past that, you're in the elite, you're in the 10%. And then once you go past that, you're in the 0.01%.
Right.
So that's our battle.
That's the hard mindset to get out of too. Is you like doing the long form and we talked about this in the Deadly Breakfast Club the other day about how short form content is king. Vertical videos are king. Nobody wants to turn their phone sideways anymore.
Yeah.
They don't. If
I remember when I swore off vertical videos, I was like, I'm never going to do them. And now I'm like, I'll never touch a horizontal video again.
Right. Right. Because there's that sense of perfectionist and art that we would try to display through the creation of video that, we would love to watch our videos on a TV, not an iPhone or an Android. Right. We would rather see them on, a bigger screen, be able to get more input in one thing, a phone sideways, you can put so much stuff in the actual frame, where if you're vertical, it's like, oh, that was in and that was out. But it sells, it kills, it's great. That's the wave. So, and we are experiencing that on the Bob the Cigar Guy YouTube channel. We're turning the PCA content, we're using AI apps to turn it into short form content and putting it up, and they're outperforming 20 times to 1.
Yeah.
Because people like it. So.
They do. And then they're willing to consume 5 to 10 second clips way more than 20 to 30 second clips.
Right. All right. So we are here at the 2-hour mark of Chief Talk. We are here.
I'm not ready to go.
It has been quite the pleasure to have you on the show again.
I feel like Mom telling me to go to bed right now. I don't want to go.
I don't want to go to bed, Mom. No, don't put me in bed. No, but we do have people who are starting to pull the Bob the Cigar Guys, and they've got to go to bed as well. So we happily get to the 2-hour mark. And we it's been a fantastic ride having you on for these 2 hours. I'm so glad that you were able to be here to kick off the summer tour of people on shows. Speaking of which, next week we are going to have your counterpart Tom from Xeno on the show. Looking forward to having Tom on to talk about all things Xeno and kick back and have a good time as somebody who didn't come from the social media scene, but who came from like the behind the scenes scene with Drew Estate over to Davidoff and Xeno in his second year over there. He's killing it.
He is. He really is. We poached him and he's been amazing and we love him.
Tom's a great guy. So before we sign off, Law.
Before you say that, I would like to say for everyone that watching right now, you are Bob the Cigar Guy and Chief in the Leaf super fans. If you want to really help them out, take this video, use the record function on your phone, rip the content, make some clips, post it, and tag Bob the Cigar Guy in them. That would be very helpful if you could do that. Find your favorite clips from this video, because it works better than AI does, and post those.
Do it. We give you full permission. When Bob and I sign off, I always give Bob his last chance to say something meaningful or impactful to kind of kick us off for the week, because we don't see these guys again until the next week, unless they hop in the Discord and they're over there smoking and showing us cigars they're smoking over on Discord. So, Law, give us your parting words of wisdom and all the things that people would love to hear from you, or you would love to tell the people.
I would love to tell the people. Again, if you are at this portion of the 2-hour video and consuming still, thank you very much. You are a cigar super fan. And if you love cigars enough to watch a 2-hour video about 2.5 people talking about cigars, then you love cigars. And if you want to keep cigars around, we need to get our lobbyists more money. And I hate to say that because I hate lobbyists, but join the Cigar Rights of America, $5-10 a month. Join Cigar Association of America, $5-10 a month. That money goes a lot longer way than you think. Just look at the NRA. So many people donate to them, and they are fighting every step of the way to make sure that we don't get any more gun laws in this country. We don't want any more cigar laws in this country. So please support those associations so that we can keep doing what we love for the rest of our lives.
You heard it here first. Law Ream, the Camacho Bad Daddy, the Camacho Macho Man, the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the cigar world. He's the best. Thank you, bro, so much, brother, for coming on. Thank you so much for just being who you are. Even outside of, personal, how we've been friends for long. And we're in the same group chats and we hang out and do what, but I'm so thankful for who you are in the cigar industry. I said it earlier that when you can see somebody who is as passionate about their job as you are, it makes it easier to sell the product that you're selling, right? At that point, it doesn't become a sale anymore. It becomes an introduction to what you've experienced. Somebody who comes up to you and says, well, I've never smoked a Camacho before, you can take it one of two ways. You can take it as an insult of, oh, I can't believe you've never smoked a Camacho before. Where have you been? Or you could say, oh, you've never smoked a Camacho before. Let me blow your mind, because here's a Camacho that you're going to enjoy. And this is going to set you off on the journey to jump into the whole Camacho line. And then if you get tired of the Camacho line, you can jump into another Davidoff subset.
Yes.
You enjoy and you live the lifestyle of the brand the way that you do, it's easy for people to say, you know what, this dude's not just selling me snake oil. He's about it, and I want to be about it too. So not many people in the industry who do it like you do, Law Ream, and there's nobody who does it better. And I'm thankful for you and what you do, because you make it easier to be a part of the world that I love being a part of. Thank you, Law Ream.
Thank you, Stephen Finley, my friend.
That's me. So you don't have to go anywhere. I'm just going to drop you down, and then when the show ends, I can come say hello to you again. But we are going to end this show here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to one of these numbers. Oh, there goes the top of the morning to ya. Boom, boom. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. We were able to get a good hour and 45 minutes out of Bob the Cigar Guy before he turned into a pumpkin this evening. I'm going to take these sunglasses off because, man, it has been hard to be in sunglasses this whole entire stream. I don't know how Law does it. He's in the sunglasses 24/7. He's at PCA in sunglasses. Like there's no way his eyes are okay. And with the way that my eyes feel. It's wild to know that the light was this bright in here the whole entire time. I will say when you have sunglasses on, you can't see my eyes. I can look at the camera. I can look down at the screen or the comments and not look like I'm looking away from you guys instead of looking at the lens. So kind of an elite move. Not going to do it. There are other people out there who wear glasses and sunglasses, and that's their trademark. And I would never want to be accused of taking somebody else's look when I look this good, baby. Right? So thank you all to everybody who hung out with us this evening. We did get up to 26 concurrent viewers sent across Facebook and YouTube, so we get to kick off the renewal of the streak. We didn't make it a couple weeks ago, but that is now 21 out of 22 episodes of Chief Talk this year that have had an above 20 concurrent viewers, which puts us up there in the top of cigar live streamers. It's all thanks to you guys and gals who hang out with us. Again, we do thank Law with Camacho and the cigar industry for being a part of tonight's show. It's always a better show when you've got somebody to kind of bounce things off of. And Law does such a great job. Not only because he loves what he does, but because he was in the media realm as well, so he kind of knows how to keep the ball rolling, keep the dice going. We do want to say a big shout out to our show sponsors, Drew Estate and Natura Cigar, making sure that Chief Talk can be available to you all every single Thursday when we're doing a show. Again, we do have on Tom Z from Zeno, Nicaragua, coming on the show next week. And I think we are still lining up a guest for the week after. I'm not sure. Got to bounce that back off of Bob because he's in control of that conversation with that person to get them to come on. But we will let you know next week if that's something that's going to possibly happen or not. We are taking another break at the end of July because we have a Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust event at the shop on a Thursday night, and I will be working that. So we fortunately do get 3 weeks in the month of July, but we're kind of sandwiched with 2 nights off through the month. But do thank you all. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you for smoking and drinking with us again. If you're not following the Discord, if you're not a part of the Discord, second link in the description, go jump over the Discord. We don't have any stick pick of the week this week because I didn't know if we would run into any chance where we got the chance to talk about it tonight with having Law on. But do go over there and hit up the Discord. Also, if you're a part of the Discord and you're watching and you're still listening, the Discord just got an update where we have our own Chief Talk server tag. So go ahead that thing to your thing and let other people see that you're part of the coolest cigar smoking Discord out there in the world. Smoke something good this week. Let us know next week what you smoked. Before I go, I'll let you know, since the last time we were on, I have smoked a couple new cigars, but the best one that I've smoked so far is the new Opus Baby Shark. Ooh, what a cigar. If you get a chance to come across it and get a couple of them, do highly recommend. Again, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you all for being a part of the Chief Talk family and commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, whatever. We couldn't do what we do without you guys. Companies wouldn't sponsor us if it wasn't for you guys, because we have to show them some sort of metrics and show them that we are valuable to the community. And you guys being here every single week shows us that there is some sort of value. Thank you all. We'll see you next week with Tom. I love ya. Bye-bye. Which one is it? This one.
Yeah, time to relax. Whew. Man, I'm beat. Whew. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a 1-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go. Go.